¿Qué pasa, amigos? My name is Ash, and today I want to talk about why I believe Apex Legends is doomed to fail. What I mean by fail is I don't really see Apex having the longevity and staying power a game like Fortnite has managed to have. Although the game has been ultra popular in the first couple weeks after launch, with the Battle Royale reaching the 25 million player milestone, I still foresee this massive popularity and success diminishing relatively quickly. With all that being said, I concede that Respawn Entertainment has released an extremely polished and exciting game. It came out of the gate optimized, and the developers were more than prepared for all that goes into running a massive online battle royale game. Servers were smooth, the game was balanced, and given that this game was a surprise release, the marketing that followed the launch of the title was flawless. Now you're probably wondering how a game like this will fail, especially after all the amazing things it has managed to achieve in a few short weeks, and that's because this game won't fail due to any crippling optimization issues or a lack of fun and engaging gameplay. I believe Apex Legends will ultimately fall into obscurity for a number of reasons, and I want to start with the fault I feel will be most responsible for this bleak outcome I am predicting. The reason that I feel will be most responsible isn't something that is a glaring issue or a mechanic in-game that will infuriate players, driving them away from the game, but rather the fault that will hurt Apex in the end is the pure lack of a standout feature or mechanic, something in-game that makes it vastly different from other Battle Royale games, a feature that you can't get anywhere else in the Battle Royale market. The building aspect within Fortnite is what made it what it was and what it is today. It's something that we have never experienced before in an online shooter, and it made the game so wildly unique, fresh, and exciting that it kept players coming back to the one and only place they could find an experience quite like it. Fortnite was, and arguably still is, the king of the gaming world, and at 2 years old, that's a hell of an achievement. 2 years of being on top of the gaming charts is something that's essentially unheard of. That type of longevity just doesn't happen on that scale. Epic Games achieved this with Fortnite because of how uniquely brilliant their game is. They took the Battle Royale genre and added a twist unlike anything that's been seen before, and this is the chink in Apex Legends armor. While they made a great Battle Royale game, they didn't add anything earth-shattering that would keep players coming back for more. Now, I will concede that they did add their fair share of unique features to the game, but they are all smaller and aren't really game-defining mechanics. The respawn feature, the class system, and abilities are all great additions to the Battle Royale genre, but unfortunately they don't add the next level to the game. Now, I'm not saying Apex Legends will be irrelevant in a month, but I don't see this level of success continuing for too much longer. Apex will most likely level off in popularity in the next couple months, and will probably sit there for about a year or so before the game finally goes to the graveyard. And honestly, that's not a bad fate for a Battle Royale game. There will almost never be a game quite like Fortnite ever again, so just because you don't reach the same heights doesn't mean the game was a failure. I've played a decent amount of games of Apex so far, and I'm starting to find that the games are starting to blur together, making them feel alarmingly similar. I keep getting a sense of deja vu, and it's starting to make the game feel stale and predictable. I still enjoy playing the game, but once I get past the 2 or 3 game mark in any given session, I find myself getting bored and wanting more out of the experience. Fortunately for Apex, there's a lot of steps they can take to keep the game going strong for as long as possible. While I don't see the core game changing too much outside of further optimization in the coming months, there is a significant amount of steps Respawn can take to ensure their game stands out among the rest. As we talked about in my last Apex video, which I'll link in the description below, there are a number of things Apex can do to make the overall experience better, and one of those things we talked about was the addition of alternative game modes. And this is where I feel Apex Legends can really separate themselves from the competition. If Respawn were to put in a game mode that featured Titans and maybe even the increased movement capabilities that were featured in the Titanfall franchise, I think that may be able to put them over the top. The team at Respawn has said that both Titans and Extreme Mobility were tested during the game development process but were ultimately pulled from the core game. This means that both features were able to fit into the game but just weren't the most ideal mechanics for the core game mode. If Apex were to receive alternate game modes, I am confident that a Titans only game mode or a game type that allowed players to call in Titans as an ultimate ability would be among the first game types added. The addition of the trademark Titans may add that unique and exciting element that Apex Legends needs to hold up over time, but whether that will put them on the level of Fortnite is highly doubtful. With the dust starting to settle caused by the surprise release of Apex Legends, I wanted to talk about its future a little bit and my concerns for it. The last Apex video I focused on what the game can do better, and that's something I really hope they excel at, and something I'm basically saying they need to ace in order to keep their game thriving long term. This is also another issue I think Apex runs into long term, and that is the ability to churn out content like Fortnite. Fortnite, since a couple of weeks after launch, is releasing something new seemingly every single week, and this is a key factor in the game staying fresh and relevant. Doing this is apparently much harder than it seems, as a AAA developer like Treyarch has all but neglected their Battle Royale mode Blackout. Either content releases are that difficult to pull off with consistency, or Treyarch has just outright abandoned their game mode. I tend to lean towards the former statement, and that's not good news for Apex. To keep pace, they must drop content on a regular basis. Gaming has become a short-term industry for the most part, with games being released, neglected by the developer, and then forgotten by the consumers altogether. Apex Legends doesn't have to follow this trend, and they can pave new roads by adding the adjustments and contents the fans want to see. I'm really curious how the community feels about this issue. I know the game is still fresh, but I have a weird feeling about the long-term future of Apex Legends. Hopefully some of the bigger content updates will come sooner rather than later, so that the player base stays engaged and excited about Apex. And that will do it for this video. Make sure you hit like, click or tap that subscribe button to become the heart of this gaming channel, and be a part of the conversation in the comments below by telling everyone what you think the future of Apex Legends holds. Can it sustain this level of popularity, or is it doomed to collapse? For more gaming analysis, news, reviews, and opinions, stay here on Ash Heart. And as always, thanks for watching.